Catanians, I am back with a full-length feature film. This is my 120th Catan video, and of course, it is my just more and more cities and nights. I've probably made about, I'm trying to split the difference, maybe half of my videos, basic Catan / seafarers, half cities and nights, and then one day surpass basic Catan videos with cities and nights videos. I may have done that already, but I feel like I'm not quite there yet. And obviously bringing you longer and longer Catan videos. I started at about 40 videos ago, because that's what y'all requested. And now I want to apologize because in my previous Twitch streams, things have been all over the place. Either the part of the screen got cut off so you couldn't see what I had in my hand, and I had no idea that was happening in real time while I was live streaming, and I posted it directly to YouTube thinking that everything was grand and everything was great. So I will have to keep that in mind and catch those small things that make the video kind of unpleasant to watch, because if you can't see what I have in my hand, how can you get a sense as to what's going on throughout the game? So again, I apologize for stuff like that, and we'll try to get that fixed as we move forward. If there's any other issues with any of my Catan videos, I want you guys to let me know in the comments so I can take those issues and correct them. So now, Cities and Nights, we are playing on the Heading for New Shore scenario. We have 4 players, and we see that I go for the 298 for the settlement, and I point my road towards the 6 to gain a brick hex later, hopefully, with the brick port. The best way to do it. And then I also went for the double 11s and the 6 wheat, so I could guarantee that I start out with a knight activated for sure before the barbarians invade. Now we see that red has a pretty good setup here. They have the 4, 5, 8 and the 6, 9, 11 with their road pointing towards the ore port. So I'm going to assume that red's going to be the one to get the ore port if purple doesn't take it. We'll see what purple. There's not a lot of space left, not a lot of good choices left on this starting island. So purple, yes, will actually go for the, and it's not a 3-8 if I said that, it's a 3-5. So they get the ore port, but I think that purple just took it to block red from getting that spot, but also to have a quick access to build over to that 9 gold. Because purple does not have an ore hex currently at this time. So they're not going to be able to really take advantage of that ore port unless they're able to resource monopoly away ore from people, but they're probably not going to be trading it. They're probably just going to be spending it on cities, knights, etc. And we also see that orange, we'll see what orange does here, because they're on a 4, 9, 11 and a 5 with 2 10s. So as soon as they get a city on that 5, 10, 10, they're going to be getting 2 paper every time a 10 is rolled. So that could be deadly. That could be dangerous for the rest of us. Also because there is a lumber port directly above the 5, 10 off to the right. So if they also build a settlement on that lumber port, they'll be trading all kinds of lumber in for all the other things that they'll need throughout this game. So if we can slow down the city from happening and also slow down the settlement on the port from happening, then we might have a chance. But at the same time, I just feel like that's going to be a very deadly combo for the rest of us. So we'll see what happens. Okay, so only orange has a city improvement on the yellow side. Everyone else is still waiting for those commodities to come rolling in. I don't have a 5, so I'm going to have to wait a little longer. If an 8 or 11 gets rolled, I will be able to build a city, but at the same time, probably should just activate my level 1 knight and then roll from there. But I'd like to do both. I really would. That way everyone else can burn a city if we get defeated, and I can keep at least one of my cities. And I'd probably... Honestly, if I had 2 cities, I had to burn one, I'd probably keep the city that I had on the 2, 8, 9 to get that double wheat off the 9, and then some coin off the 8. Because 11s, I don't see 11s getting rolled all that much. So I'm going to hope that I can get Inventor later on and be able to swap one of those 11s out for a 5 or a 9. So since I rolled the 7, I just go ahead, activate my knight, pass the dice, hope for better times as we continue through this game. And there goes a 5. I don't have a 5, so I'm going to have to continue waiting on some more cards to come my way. So now we're looking for a 6. We're also looking for those 11s. If we get an 11, nope, it's just another 7. And I don't have any green city improvements, so I will not be getting a green progress card. I have a 2 wood, 2 lumber, but a 2 getting rolled is highly unlikely. Plus, I only have a settlement on the 2. So at this point, even a road is looking like it's going to be a monumental task for me, at least this early on in the game. All right, red, roll us something good here. Red's going to go for a 4. And our number diversity is not that good. We have 2, 8, 9, and then we have the 6 and 11. So in total, we have 5 different numbers. And if I build on the 6, I already have a 6, so I'm not gaining any more number diversity. So I really have to try to get an inventor or hope that someone is friendly enough, like maybe red, to swap out the 11 sheep once they get inventor and give us a more favorable number. Of course, I'm stuck with the 2 for the rest of the game because 2s and 12s cannot be swapped with inventor, nor can 6s and 8s. So thankfully, I am stuck with the 6 and the 8 that I have. And there goes a 9. And everyone is built on that 9 wheat except for purple, so that sucks for purple. But if purple can get down to that sheep board off to your right, then purple will be in good standing. But they just didn't build on ore, and they didn't build on brick either. So in cities and knights, you at least want to build on every resource except for brick. You obviously want to build on every resource, but if you're going to go without brick. Don't also go without ore, because ore is just so important, and it pairs so beautifully with wheat and sheep and having a successful game in cities and knights. And going without one of those is going to be very hard to overcome unless you built on a bunch of brick or lumber and you also got to the port very quickly of that particular resource. Then it's not totally an issue, especially if you built on lumber and you're getting a lot of paper off of it, because the green city improvements give you lots of good green progress cards. Okay, another 5 from orange. So 5s are looking very good for the... Oh, and he gets on the lumber port. This early on in the game, we're not even 10 minutes into the video, and orange is on the lumber port. And thankfully, the 5-6 spot with the 3-4 port at the top of your screen is wide open. But I did not think that... I thought it was going to be built on, honestly. I thought I did not have a chance to get over there, or I was going to be contested for it pretty easily. But it's wide open, and orange went the opposite way with their roads to the lumber port as I thought they would. So if I can get a diplomat, I can change over my road from my city and point it the other way towards the 3-4 port that's on the 5-6. So I can gain the 5, gain a brick hex, have brick coming in finally, because I'm not built on brick at all. And then also gain the 3-4 port, have a really good spot, because I feel like if a road building comes along, then for orange, they're going to just easily build 2 roads over to that 5-6 spot and take it with a settlement before I can even bat an eye. I am in a good position to get the other 3-4 port, but I'm only building more on the 6 wheat, and I'd love to have that 6-5 spot, because we see 5s getting rolled a decent amount. Okay, and a 4 from orange. They're already at Yellow City Improvements level 2. Purple has Yellow City Improvements level 1. So I guess a 3 got rolled at some point. There goes a Green City Improvement level 1 for orange. So they are doing the best off so far in the early phase of this game. And we get defeated by the barbarians. And unfortunately for purple, they were not able to build a knight and activate it, because they didn't build on any ore hexes, probably, and probably couldn't get any good trades. So they're going to burn their city, go down to 2 victory points. And anytime you're at 2 victory points in cities and knights, it's not a good time. It's going to be, you fell into a hole, and now you have to try to dig yourself out of that hole. And it's not impossible. I have come back and won despite losing my starting city, but it is a very hard thing to do. So not impossible. If purple can go ahead and get on the 9 gold and build on that, they'll get the special victory points for building on the new island, and they'll also gain a gold hex, so that could act as their ore hex if they so desire. And they also need to get over to that sheep hex if they want to have a fighting chance here. So we'll see what happens with purple. But for now, there goes an 8, so I'm happy. More coin is coming my way. Before I could even get to Blue City Improvements level 1 with 1 coin, I already have 2 coin in my hand. So if I get 3 coin, I can get to Blue City Improvements level 1 and then immediately get to Blue City Improvements level 2. And let's think about this. In total, if you want to max out the city improvements of any color, you just add 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1, and that comes out to 15. And the reason I could do that math so fast in my head is because I know that adding 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 is 10. And they just tack on the 5, and there's your 15. So you need 15 coin to max out Blue City Improvements. You need 15 paper, 15 cloth to max out the other colors. So that's a considerable amount of each commodity that you need. So that's why it takes so long, because people are stealing from you. Robbers are coming in and hacking up half your cards. People are using progress cards like Trade Monopoly to steal stuff away from you, or Master Merchant, or Wedding if you're ahead in victory points. So it's very hard to actually get a Metropolis. Even harder is to get it early on and hold on to it for the rest of the game. If you can do that, then you're in very good shape, or your dice rolls are just going your way and you're absolutely lucky, and I'm very jealous of you. And I'm jealous of Orange because they get that 10, and now they can just trade in lumber at a 2-for-1 rate. They just have a bunch of lumber in their hand. They're probably going to build a settlement if they can on that 10-8, either this turn or next turn. And all around, this game is just going very well for Orange. I'm hanging in there. I have 4 victory points because I have 2 cities now. But I'm just hoping for, some more things to come my way. Like, I really want to get that road and that settlement on the brick port with the 6 brick. But at the same time, I also want the 6-5 with the 3-for-1 port. So lots of things have to happen for me. If a 2 gets rolled, I will be ecstatic because I will actually get paper without having to trade in for it. And right on cue, an 8 gets rolled, so I get even more coin. So I'm definitely getting to Blue City Improvements level 2 this turn. We have a counter offer from Red. They want a sheep, but they want to take a ore and a coin. So I'm only going to give an ore. And thankfully, Orange went through with that trade. So now I was able to upgrade / promote my knight to a level 2 knight, get to Blue City Improvements level 2, and I'll just leave it at that because there's not much else I can do. Now, Purple, the underdog as of right now, rolls the 9. They don't have a 9. That sucks, but looks like they're very close to being able to build on that 5-9 spot on the new island. So that will immediately boost them up to, I think, 5 victory points, because I think in Heading for New Shores, you get 2 special victory points for building on a new island, 1 victory point for the settlement. Unlike, there's one Seafarer scenario I was just playing recently where you only get 1 special victory point for building on a new island, and 1 victory point for the settlement, for a total of 2 instead of 3. And there goes Orange. They are just having the game of their life. Now if a 10 gets rolled, they will get 4 lumber. And if they don't want lumber or don't need it to build anything, that will be 2 cards of their choice because they have the lumber port. So good tidings for them. But for us, it spells, we got to watch out for them. We got to keep orange at the top of our radar, shut down that 10, the 10 that has 3 settlements on it, as much as we can. Thankfully, I have Alchemist this turn. I could roll the 2, but I'm actually going to go for the 11 to not only give me the 3rd coin I need for Blue City Improvements level 3, but to also give me my first cloth so I can build Yellow City Improvements level 1. So now, hopefully, I will be getting lots and lots of commodities of a variety of different colors so I can have all kinds of strategies going on behind the scenes as I work to undermine the other players and boost myself ahead in this game. The Red's still thinking about the trade. Do they want to give me a break? It looks like not. So I'll have to hold off on building a road. And for now, I'll just do my city improvement upgrades. And I could build a city. That's the crazy thing. I could build a city, but I don't have another settlement on the board to upgrade to a city. So I'll just go ahead, throw another knight on the board, and potentially get a Defender of Catan victory point to really do something to boost myself ahead, as I'm now only 4 coin away from a Metropolis, the first Metropolis of the game. But I'm still very worried about orange. If orange gets a city, I know exactly where they're putting it. They're putting on the 5-10-10, and they're just going to maximize their lumber and their paper production and run away with this game. So currently they have 8 cards. They did roll an 11, so they did get an ore off that roll, plus they got a coin. But they already have Blue City Improvements level 1. Oh, they're going to build a second knight. And they also have Merchant on the Wheat Hex. So that is why they're also ahead in victory points. But actually, Red is actually tied. Red has 3 cities. So Red is also doing something very good this game. And yes, I did get a Defender of Catan victory point. So I jump up to 5 victory points. But now I'm looking for either the Blue Metropolis or my first road beyond my starting roads to actually go somewhere and build another city. Or sorry, another settlement on this board to later upgrade to a city. And with Deserter, Red steals away my level 1 knight. I could not give up my level 2 knight. And they will now be in the contesting for the next Defender of Catan victory point, as they also unlock the trade bonus. So right now, Orange and Red are in a very strong running for power players this game so far. But here goes a 6. So I'm going to grab some wheat. Red gets 4 brick. So now I'm wondering if Red really wants to get on that brick port to gain another spot on that 6 brick, but to also have the brick port to trade in at 2-for-1 rate. But before that happens, I'm going to spy on Orange, and they have 4 cards. And I'm actually going to take Wedding instead of Master Merchant. Even though I could take 2 of whatever I want from Orange with Master Merchant, I'd only get 2 cards. So I'm actually going to use Wedding because I'll get 2 cards from both Orange and Red for a total of 4 cards. And even though it's their choice, any amount of cards or any type of card is going to help me out at this point. And that puts a bunch of cards in my hand. And now I can trade in and make more moves happen. So I'm going to get to Yellow City Improvements level 2. I'll activate my level 2 knight, which I did. And now I'll build a city wall because my production is actually really good now. I would say maybe don't build a city wall like super early in the game within the first few dice rolls. Unless like you can't really do anything else, which is probably likely early on in the game. But at this point, a little bit quarter of the way into the game, start building some city walls. Your production is going to consistently stay pretty high. You'll probably have more than 10 cards in your hand for a good amount of times for the rest of the game from this point on. So not a bad idea to build those city walls, as some of my subscribers / viewers / commenters have taught me to do so / encourage me. And it has paid dividends. I can't tell you how many times I've had to burn cards off of 7 just waiting for it to get back to my turn because I just had like 14 cards in my hand or 12 or something, and I just was waiting to spend them, and just as I was about to spend them, bam, 7. Robber came in and swiped half my cards. And just like with that 7, red has to burn 5 cards. And they're going to place it on me and orange. Thankfully, they take from orange because they recognize that orange is the bigger threat. Also, they are in the lead with victory points, even though I had more cards. Sometimes, if someone's shutting you down, they're going to take from the person who has more cards, even though that person is losing, because the person who also could be stolen from could be winning, but maybe they only have like 1 or 2 cards in their hand. So for whatever reason, people will be like, well, I have a better chance of getting whatever card I want from the person who has 9 cards, which actually is true. I'm not going to argue with that logic there. And purple decides they're going to dip out. They're going to leave at this point in the game. And I was like, purple, come on. You got 7 cards in your hand. I know it's taken a while. You haven't built on that 5-9 spot, but you were pretty close to building on that 5-9 spot. Just wait it out, and then you would have been fine from there, because then they had access. The next spot to build on would have been the 4-5-8 to gain an OR hex and gain another 8, and then go from there. But I guess the dice rolls were just not going purple's way. If I was purple, I would have stuck through. I would have stuck in the game, put my head down, just kept going until I finally got the cards to build a settlement on that 5-9 spot. Because 5s and 9s getting rolled pretty well. So even though they only have 1 5, the 5 wheat, it's still getting rolled, So just wait it out. And I think it would have been, good tidings for purple. But unfortunately, someone used Diplomat, ripped off one of their ships off the board, so they're back down to just the 9 gold spot. They have to build another ship to get back to the 5-9 spot. But they're a computer, so they're not too upset. They're just now playing this game without any thoughts, feelings, or emotions. And now that a computer has joined our ranks, I will see if I can manipulate the computer trades to get 2 cards for 1 of my card at minimum, because that'll be nice, and attempting to thwart red and or orange later in this game as we all ferociously try to achieve victory. And Robber 7 is like, hello, I'm back again. And I'm like, can you just stay away? And Robber 7's like, absolutely not. This is the most popular number to be rolled, so I'm going to hang around for a long time and come around here frequently. So I'm going to put it right on that quadruple 10 lumber, because that's 4 cards off of 10, off of that particular 10 for orange. Even though orange has a level 2 knight there, I know they're going to chase a robber away, but just to keep it on that 10 in case purple rolls a 10 or orange rolls a 10 as well, to slow down that production somewhat, because that is just insane. Okay, so now we see purple. No, they didn't want to do any trading, so they'll pass it off to orange. Orange rolls a 4. I do not have a 4, nor do I have the science bonus, and that is the next thing I'm kind of keeping in the back of my head after this blue Metropolis, because I am 2 coin away from the blue Metropolis, which will boost me up to 7 victory points. So I'll be tied with orange. So I'll be kind of on the radar, but, orange has still been leading this game. And they're going to move their merchant from the wheat hex over to the sheep hex. So now I'm trying to see what's going on here. Okay, so they activate their other knight. They have 3 active knights. The barbarians are very close to invading, so that could be a Defender Catan victory point for orange. Red, don't roll a 7 for yourself. Good. And they did not usher in the barbarians. So if red can actually activate their knights with the 2 wheat they just got, they'll be in a good spot. Oh, they also have bishop. So they'll take a wheat and something from orange. So red definitely has no excuse to activate both their knights to tie orange for knight strength, so that orange does not get a victory point from Defender of Catan. There goes a road. Maybe another road as well. So here I do understand why red is placing their roads off of that particular city instead of the other one to swipe in and slide in and try to steal the brickport from me. They want to get on that 8 ore spot and then cast off from there down to the island below that my progress cards are blocking, because there's there's not a gold hex down there, because there's only 2 on the board. You can already see those on the right and the top right of the screen. There are 9 and a 12 respectively. So whatever it is at the bottom of the screen, I think it's like an ore hex and a sheep hex maybe. But upon red building on that small island where my progress cards are blocking, that's going to be 3 victory points for them total. So they're going to take the victory points plus maybe even the chance of taking longest road because they had to build all the way down there over getting the brick port, because right now they see me having a bunch of cards and I'm only 1 road and settlement away from getting to the brick port, and they didn't have the cards to be able to build on the brick port last turn, so they didn't want to risk it. They're much better off going on the 8 ore spot where I'm 2 roads away instead of just 1 road away. And they know they can cast off from there later. So we actually get defeated, and red is going to have to burn one of their 3 glorious cities because purple has 0 cities. And of course we know the barbarians only attack cities when they win and defeat us. And the person who contributed the least amount of knights was red. So for whatever reason, red did not, activate their knights. And thus, they had to burn a city. They paid the price. So they do still keep 2 cities, so they're still in good shape. But now here goes a 7 from green. From orange. They put it right on green and red's 8, which is the one I'm on, that 8 ore hex. And they steal from me. What a bummer. And they quickly reactivate both of their knights. So it's actually kind of good that red lost the city and the barbarians defeated us, because red would have tied orange for knight strength in Defender Graton, and we would have been victorious, as red gets a blue instant victory point from Constitution. So it's good that the barbarians defeated us, because orange and red would have tied for knight strength, and they each would have taken a progress card of their choice, and giving any more advantage to orange is not what we want right now. So I'm actually glad that red had to burn the city. It sucks, but it's part of the team effort here that we're hopefully red shares with me in trying to take down orange. So with my engineer, I'll build a second city wall, and thankfully that one was free because I'd have 0 brick. I'm built on 0 bricks. It's very hard to come by brick. So now I can hold up to 11 cards in my hand with a 7 getting rolled and not have to burn any cards. So that is a nice thing to be able to know, to comfort me as I try to continue my assault through this game at victory points and pulling back others in victory points. If I get a merchant, I'm going to play that as soon as I can, because I'm going to pull 1 victory point away from orange and boost me ahead 1, which is always a good thing. Then if that happens, I'll be at 6, so will red, so will orange, and we'll all be in a very neck and neck tight race. As a 12 gets rolled and I still don't have science bonus, if I could just get a 2, or if I could get a trade monopoly, potentially steal some paper away from orange, assuming a 10's going to get rolled here these next couple turns, and assuming I actually get trade monopoly. So a 3 gets rolled. The computer purple gets 2 sheep. That's good for them. And this time orange will steal from red, thankfully, because I am 1 coin away at this point. We talked about the blue Metropolis earlier, the possibility of getting it. Now we are much closer, as orange takes longest road, and it's going to place that second road from road building right there to touch on that sheep port. And they're going to steal the ship away from purple. That's deja vu. They already stole that ship away from purple to get to that 5-9 spot, the 5 sheep 9 gold. And now purple is a computer, and they have to just keep putting that ship back on the board. And their production is very low, so that sucks for them. But orange, next turn, is probably going to get on that sheep port, and they already have 9 victory points at this point with that longest road. Acquisition. I was searching for the word there in my head for a few seconds, but acquisition was what I was going for. Here goes a 7 by me. You know what's going on that 10 lumber. There's no other place it could go. No other place it should go. And actually still a cloth from orange, so I'm not too far off from getting the trade bonus. And I'll steal Master Merchant, and I'm just going to use it on orange. I'll take a third cloth, and then I'll take a wheat for good measure. So now I can 4-for-1 my wheat to get a fourth coin. I get the blue Metropolis in this turn, and also get the trade bonus. So I am now battling it out with red and orange for the yellow Metropolis as well. And if I don't get the yellow Metropolis, I honestly really hope that red gets it before orange does, because orange will jump up to 11 victory points with that Metropolis acquisition. There's that word again. And then them being already at double digits and us halfway to double digits will be very scary. It will be very hard to make a comeback at that point. You know, we're only about halfway through the game, but orange still has that strong lead, and we're still trying to come back. And the way I'm going to come back at this point is steal that blue Metropolis, and now I'm at 7 victory points. Well, not steal it, but, build it, because no one else had it before me. There goes a 4. Purple struggling for production still. Still at 2 victory points. What if purple stays at 2 victory points this entire game? That would be very sad, but it is the computer, so we wouldn't feel too bad, would we? Wow, that 10 roll will probably grant orange the maybe they'll get the science bonus next turn, but they stole cloth away from red with trade monopoly. So off that 10, I think they were able to go to level 2 Green City improvements. And they also get the yellow Metropolis. So just when I thought red was going to pull it off, orange goes ahead, swipes in there, steals away a cloth to give them just the amount of cloth they need. And they are up to 11 victory points. But thankfully with that 6 dice roll, I get 2 wheat. Red gets 4 brick. That put that merchant right in that brick hex. Good job, Red. And let's get something done here. Let's try to steal Metropolis, do something. So now all that brick, let's see what they traded in for. They also have another progress card in their hand. Okay, they're trading in brick for lumber. Oh, they might be going for a settlement on that 8 ore spot. Oh, they're actually going to hold what they have. They have 8 cards. Hopefully they don't roll a 7. There's a 4. I don't have a 4, and I'm so close to that science bonus, but I still don't have it. So I'm going to chase away the robber, put it right on that 10 lumber hex. I get a second sheep, which is not what I wanted. I wanted a lumber. I guess he traded away all the lumber to get to the yellow Metropolis. So unfortunately, I will not be able to build a road this turn. But there goes a 3. 3s are so close to a 2. If a 2 would just get rolled, then we'd be in a better position with more lumber and paper in my hand. So with Commercial Harbor, purple is using Commercial Harbor to steal commodities, but purple doesn't have a city. Purple is a computer, and a not very smart computer at that. Why would they be using Commercial Harbor to steal away commodities? There's not even a trade benefit, because they don't even have the trade bonus to be able to trade in commodities at a 2-for-1 rate. Nothing makes sense. Okay, barbarians are about to invade. Orange and red are tied in knight strength. Oh, but orange rolled a 7, so red has to get rid of cards. Wow. Unfortunately, red will not be able to probably have a good turn next turn. And orange steals from me instead. I think orange is alternating who they steal from, because they're placing on that 8 ore every time. And orange also steals the merchant away from red, so that brick... Wow. And a 6 just got rolled, so red would have had 4 brick from this 6, 4 brick from the previous 6, assuming they kept all of it when the robber got rolled. So they would have had 8 brick to trade in at a 2-for-1 rate. They could have had 4 of whatever they wanted, but then orange had to go and swipe that merchant away from them. Oh, but red's like, I'm going to take that merchant right back. It's going right on that 6 brick where it belongs. And now let's see what they trade that brick in for. Okay, 2 brick for a wheat. Is it the settlement going out? Yep, the settlement's going out on the 8 ore spot. They're going to resource monopoly away more wheat, presumably. Yep, more wheat to them. Perfect. Now, should red have built the settlement, or should they have matched orange in level 4 yellow city improvements with the hopes of stealing the metropolis and keeping it away from orange forever? Because at this point, we still should be doing anything we can to bring down orange and victory points. So actually, I'm in no way, shape, or form going to be able to take away orange's longest road at this point. But if I can get a lucky road building card and then build on that brick port and then try to cast all the ships down to the bottom island not visible in the screen currently, then I might have a shot at it. But on my other end, maybe I should build off my other city on the 6-11-11 and then get on that 3-for-1 port and then try to go over and cut off Orange's longest road system by attacking at level 2 knight, because now I could build mighty knights because I have a blue metropolis and the politics bonus. You only need the politics bonus. You don't need the blue metropolis to build mighty knights. But having the blue metropolis doesn't hurt, not one bit. There goes a 5. I still do not have that science bonus, so I gotta watch while everyone else gets cards off the 5 except for me. But I do have 2 cloth in my hand. I also have trade monopoly, as I have to watch orange get the science bonus this turn before me. But it makes sense because look at the 10s they're built on. Even though it's a 5 that got rolled there, they're still doing very well. Their production is high. Their progress card count is always high. They just built on the sheep port. Everything is going well for them. I respect it, but I am furious at the same time. I want what they got going on. I want the dice rolls to come my way like they are going orange's way. But we just have to keep trucking along, see what happens. Okay, pass it off to red. Red's going to go for a 12. And a 12 is one for the ages because absolutely no one benefits off that except for orange because they have science bonus. Of course, between 2 and 12, of course a 12 gets rolled, despite the fact that I have a city on a 2. If the 2 would just get rolled, that would help your boy Dupinator / Unorthodox Master of Games out in his time of need, in his quest to get the Green Metropolis before Orange does. Because if Orange gets a 10, they'll pretty much be guaranteed the Green Metropolis, and they'll jump up to 13 victory points in this game of heading for New Shore Cities and Knights, where we're going to 17 victory points. So they'll be just 4 victory points away, whereas I am still 10 victory points away. I am 1 game of Basic Catan away, an entire game of Basic Catan away from winning this game. And the odds are definitely not in my favor. Okay, so I will in fact get the science bonus this turn, so we have something going for us. Plus, if you look at my city improvements, I have built a total of 10 city improvements, whereas Orange has built only a total of 8 city improvements. So I should be getting more progress cards coming my way. Each time Orange gets a progress card, 99% of the time I will also get a progress card. The only time will be because that I don't is because Orange has level 4 on the yellow city improvements. I only have level 3. So I believe if it's a yellow dice and the red die is numbered 4 or 5, then I will not get a yellow progress card. It would have to be, let me think now. Level 1 of any city improvement, you get a progress card if that color and a 1 or 2 on the red die is rolled. And then level 2, you also need you can go up to having the number 3 on the yellow die. Level 3 city improvements, you can go up to having number 4 on the die. Level 4, you can have up to number 5 on the die. Okay, yeah. So if the number 5 on the red die is rolled with a yellow dice roll, I will not get a yellow progress card, just Orange will. And the reason, even if you already have the Metropolis, if you still want more chances to get progress cards of that color, that's when you go to level 5 of a city improvement. Not only to protect that metropolis forever, but to also be able to get a progress card if that particular color is rolled and a 6 on the red die is rolled, because you now have level 5 on that city improvement of that particular color, if all that makes sense. So with an 8 getting rolled, progress cards going out, barbarians returning to their starting spot, and I get Oran coin. And a juicy 11 gets rolled. I'm not too upset that my 11 was shut down, because that also means that orange was shut down. Even though they do get science bonus, they don't get any coin, and I see them at level 1 blue city improvement. So if we can keep it that way, that's cool with me. Keep them far away from blue city improvements level 5, and we are kosher. We are dill pickle. So I'm cool with that. But they have 10 cards in their hand with that bishop play. And of course it went right on the 8 or the one place I did not want it to go. But maybe that will allow for more 11s to be rolled and more cards to come my way, because I'll get 4 cards every time an 11 gets rolled, which is very thumbs up. I also hope for Alchemist. I really need Alchemist. I really need road building. I need mining. I need irrigation. I need it all. And I need it all to happen very soon so I can make some moves here. Orange has a 9-length road. And let's see what else. What else here? Maybe purple will finally build on that 5-9 spot. It looks like orange is probably going to end up stealing it from them, because they finally built their way all the way down. So now they've gained the special victory points for building on that island on the 4-5 brick sheep spot. And they're also looking like they're about to build on that 5-9 spot as soon as they get the cards. But thankfully, red stole from them with the 7, moved the robber on that 10, and orange has 0 resource/commodity cards. They do have 3 progress cards, though. There goes an 8. It's wide open for us, so me and red will benefit. But there's also an 8 sheep, so we see everyone actually get cards off the 8. And from orange, with my spy, I will steal. Maybe I should have stolen Deserter there, but it's kind of hard to tell, because I was going for I need commodity cards, and I should have waited on Commercial Harbor. I got very excited. I was like, okay, I'm going to steal something from orange. They actually did not have commodities this turn, so I should have waited to use Commercial Harbor on a later turn when something like a 10 got rolled or an 11 or a 4, so I could guarantee, knowing the fact that orange would have commodity cards in their hand. So instead I only get 1 card, which is a bummer. So I'll just go ahead, activate my knight to protect the cities. I actually only have to protect 1 city because I have a Metropolis on the other city. And for the rest of this game, it seems like the blue Metropolis will not be stolen from me, but we'll see what happens. Red does have blue scene rooms level 2, but I don't smell any foul play, so we'll see what happens. I gained bishop in my hand. This is good. I'm going to put it probably on the other 10 that orange is built on, so I can also steal from purple. Because why not get 2 cards instead of just 1? Always grab more than you would be able to get. Steal as many cards as you can is the motto. And there goes a 6. So lots of brick going red's way. They did have to downgrade the city into a settlement earlier on, so they're just getting 3 brick instead of 4. I do still get my 2 wheat, and right on cue, orange is going to chase away the robber off their 10 lumber, put it right smack down on that 8 ore, where they believe it should stay for the rest of the game. And I don't have a knight protecting the 8 ore to get rid of it, so maybe red should take the initiative and build a knight on the 8 ore hex. And then orange is like, I'm just going to steal a knight away from Dupinator, and now Dupinator has no knights to protect his city from the barbarians. But the barbarians are very far away, so we're still okay. We're still looking for a 2 to get rolled so I can get some paper, so I don't have to keep trading in for it. Because I'm still at level 3 green city improvements, but so is orange. So this is a nice race to see who can get the green Metropolis. Because if orange gets it, they'll be at 16 victory points, 1 victory point away from winning. All they have to do is throw down a merchant card, steal the merchant away from orange for their 17th victory point, and this game is in the bag. It's over. But But, I am just hoping against the crushing, overwhelming power of orange. You know, King, why am I blanking on it? King, in Lord of the Rings, at Mount Mordor. Let me just switch my analogy. I'm hope against hope up against King Galbatorix from the Aragon book series, the inheritance cycle, because I remember that. Like, for some reason I cannot remember the evil king in Lord of the Rings. Okay, so 8 dice roll. I was shut down, but I did have science bonus. I will steal my own road away, place it towards the brick port, build my settlement right there on that 6 brick, gain the brick hex, gain the brick port, and now I can use bishop, throw it where I said I would, grab 2 cards, and they'll actually be 2 sheep. And I have saboteur, but I may hold off because it's only going to make orange get rid of 1 card. Thankfully, they cannot move the robber unless they roll a 7 off of that other 10 lumber hex, because they do not have a knight activated. They do have a deactivated knight touching that lumber hex, but they'll have to activate it this on their turn and then wait a whole nother turn to be able to chase away the robber. And on a crazy stroke of luck, you saw earlier in this game that red got Constitution, the blue instant victory point. Well, this turn, on purple's turn, orange got Printer, the free instant green victory point progress card. So now they're up to 15 victory points. They are 4 short paper away from winning. And thankfully they passed the dice. Thankfully, we didn't see any 10s get rolled recently, so we are off the hook. We're safe for a few more turns. But Robert comes in, is like, you know what? We know you were trying to trade in for 4 paper of your own to steal that green Metropolis before orange could, but let me just steal half your cards real quick. So I have to get rid of some very, very helpful cards. And I'm kind of back to square one, because I don't have a 3-for-1 port. I do have 3 wheat. So maybe instead of using Diplomat to pull my road away from the top of your screen, I should have left it there and built on that 3-for-1 port. But Master Merchant does come my way, plus science bonus. So I'll actually take a 4th wheat in my hand, because 4-for-1 is always a thing no matter what. And I have the trade bonus, so I can 2-for-1 cloth, 2-for-1 coin for whatever I want, aka paper. This is exactly what I want at this moment in time. I also have Master Merchant, so I gotta hit up, orange to see what they got. And they have 2 brick, which is exactly what I need, because I knew there was a reason I built on that brick port. It was to steal from someone else and then trade that brick port in for something else I need, instead of spending it on, roads or settlements in the logical sense. So in this very indirect way, I trade in all my cards through all my trading means, get 4 paper, and just barely have the cards to swipe the green Metropolis, presumably before orange was about to do it on the next turn. So now I'm at 10 victory points. I'm like, okay, there's finally a chance, because I used Saboteur, so orange has to get rid of 2 cards, and I also have road building in my hand. Not that I think I'm going to take road building, or longest road, but just to be able to start building ships down to that bottom island. Okay, so it is a wheat and an ore hex down at the bottom. It's a 310. So just in the hopes that I can get down there before orange wins and build a settlement on that 10 ore, I'll then jump up to 13 victory points, and I may be a lot closer to be able to take longish road. Okay, there goes Crane. Now, what is orange going to do this turn? If it's a 10, it's not a 10. The day is saved for just a little bit longer. Not much longer, though. So if that was a 10, this game, well, actually, it's going to take orange 4 plus 5, 9 paper to take me down on the green Metropolis and then give themselves the win. And that brings me to the title of this video. Having 2 Metropolises does not guarantee victory. I have 2 Metropolises at this point, but I am so far behind. When have you ever been in this scenario? Usually, if you guys play Cities Nights and you have 2 Metropolises, usually you are just steamrolling away. You are so far ahead in the game. Everything's going your way. Dice rolls, resources, progress cards, commodities, Defender of Catan, everything. So, have you ever been at a point where you have 2 Metropolises and you're just struggling to try to match the leading player, try to get close to them in victory points? That's why I think this was such a crazy game. Sure, if I take longest road, I give us me and red some more time to catch up, because purple's still at 2 victory points. This game's almost over. What are they doing? They have 9 cards in their hand. Do something, anything. Build a knight to keep orange from taking their 5-9 spot they've been trying to get to the entire game. Just one thing. Do it. But there goes a 10. Thankfully, orange did use Inventor to give themselves a 5, so they did not get 6 cards off that 10, which would have been insane. The 10 is now with safely, one of the 10s is safely with red and purple on that wheat hex. So that is not bad. And with Resource Monopoly, I take some lumber, and I'm just hoping to build some roads here, but it's probably too little too late. I feel like when I pass these dice, I may get one more dice roll and then the game's over. Wouldn't it be crazy if I was able to take the yellow Metropolis away from orange, or if red does it, if either one of us does it. But if especially if I take it, I'll have 3 Metropolises and still lose the game. Now, if that's not an unorthodox challenge, I don't know what is. If you had 3 Metropolises and you still lose, you should probably feel great amounts of shame, but you should also feel like a weird, backward sense of pride, because that is nearly impossible to do. Unless you're trying, unless you're actively trying to lose the game that way. Like, you did really well the first 3 quarters of the game, like you obviously were going to win the game, but you just got the 3 Metropolises and then you just stopped playing well on purpose. Sure, but trying to make the comeback, like, I'm pretty close to getting all 3 Metropolises, but I could still lose the game with that fact. I already have 2 of them, and it looks like I'm going to lose. Now, my current hope is for one, orange not to win in the next couple dice rolls, but also to see if red can steal the yellow Metropolis, because they have level 4 on the Yellow City improvements. They are tied with orange, but orange remains incumbent, so they keep the yellow Metropolis. But if red can get a really good roll this game and make something happen, it's a 7. I'm so sorry, red. I was hoping for a 4 or an 11 to bring you some more cloth. I don't know how many cloth you currently had in your hand, but to boost you up to 11 victory points with a Metropolis steal and pull orange back down to 14 points, while I potentially worked on longest road because I have the ability to build 3 ships right now, that would have just been a very nice turnaround of this game. To stop looking ahead and see orange way ahead of us. Like, people always look ahead and see the Patriots always doing much better than their own local NFL football team if they do not support the New England Patriots or live in a different area. Okay, so the offer is wood. And I would like, from red, I want some wheat and ore. And red goes ahead, builds a ship, so they're going to go down and try to get on that island down there. It's probably not going to happen. Yep, so they pass the dice, and now we are in the last 5 minutes of this video. If you stuck around this long, thank you. Has it been a great game so far, as I hyped it up to be? I think it has, even though it looks like my defeat is imminent. So, I steal a paper away from orange, and the paper at this point is not very helpful, but that's okay. Do I build the 3 ships, or do I try to go for the Metropolis steal? So I just trade in the 4 lumber for a 2nd cloth. There goes an 11, so there's my 3rd cloth. So actually, maybe. Now, red also got a cloth. Orange did get some cards. They only have 3 cards, though. They do have 16 victory points, so if they build a settlement or a city, they win. They are that close to winning. So, let's see what they roll. There goes a 6. Okay, they will be getting science bonus. That'll put them up to 3 cards, but they have 4 progress cards, so depending on what they have, they could still win. So they actually just activate their knights. They're down to 2 resource and our commodity cards. They pass. Okay, I have a bunch of cards. It's still possible. Here's Alchemist, 4 or 11. Red. Or help us out with the 11. We'll see what they do with Alchemist. But it's a 6. Okay, so I do get more wheat. So that's okay. But it would have been better if they did the 11. We need to work together. I would have even traded all my cloth away just for red to be able to steal the yellow metropolis. We should have worked together. We should have been communicating in the chat or something. But maybe red thought all hope was lost and went to build down on that bottom island for the special victory points. And they even trade in cloth. They trade in their 2 cloth for the other resource card they needed for the settlement. So they did go up to 12 victory points. But it doesn't matter. We should have worked together to steal the yellow metropolis before they went off and built a settlement that basically means nothing because the game will probably be over here. Next orange dice roll. So with science bonus, I'll take an ore. Because there was nothing else to really take to enhance my trading in. If I had 3 brick, I would have taken a 4th brick. Or if I had 7 wheat, I would have taken 8th wheat to be able to trade in at the 4-for-1 rate on anything else besides brick. Okay, so I'm going to trade away with purple. So I get another city. I will get to, with Crane, I will get to yellow city improvements level 4. But unfortunately, that's the game. That's what it's looking like. Because right now, I can only trade in 2 coin for a cloth and then 2 brick for a second cloth. And I'll be 3 cloth away from taking the yellow city metropolis. So even though I traded in with purple to be able to build a city, it wouldn't matter because I would have needed 4 wheat and 4 ore. And that, with my other 2 cloth that I would trade in for, that would have put me at 4 cloth total. But I still would have needed a 5th one to be able to steal the metropolis away from orange. So that is the story of this game, guys. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I was even though I wasn't close in victory points, I was close in pulling orange back or helping red boost ahead victory points while also pulling orange back by stealing away that yellow metropolis and potentially extending this game long enough for either red to have a good shot at winning or myself having a good shot at winning. Obviously, I want to bring the yellow metropolis home to myself, but if I can help red get it, that's the second best scenario at extending this game further. But unfortunately, orange just has the production. They have all the supports. They just have merchants. They have all sorts of stuff built all over the board. They have longish road. They only had 1 metropolis, but that just goes to show you metropolises aren't the end-all be-all. They do help out a lot, but if you only have 1, you can still win no problem. You can still win without a metropolis, but having 1 and just doing very well in all the other aspects of Cities and Knights will also take you far. So thank you guys for watching. Maybe I'll have better luck next game of Cities and Knights. Take care.